Well, I don't know how this is gonna go, but this is gonna be interesting. So, if you don't know, I do a weekly show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, where it's just basically a hangout and talk about the news of the week and different things that I've picked up or whatever, just whatever comes up, and it's fun. So you should come hang out if you want. But on a recent show, a viewer, Raith, who's been around for a long time, he asked, "What about a video of like your favorite box sets, your favorite physical media releases?" And I thought, man, what a good idea to kind of show off some of the best, some of the worst, the the cheapest, the best, like most expensive, and I mean all the things, right? And I thought, yeah, we should do that. So that's what we're gonna do today. Here we go. So when it comes to physical media, I've been doing this a while. I've been collecting a pretty long time. Back in the VHS days, yeah, I was a collector, and I had many, many VHS movies. But of course, when DVD came out, I thought, I don't really need these anymore. So I got rid of most of them. I mean, like 99% of the VHS movies I had, I traded them in and got DVDs because that's what we did. But I did keep one very special one, and that is the Star Wars trilogy, THX widescreen edition. This is the first widescreen release I ever bought, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. When you open it up, it's pretty cool because it's got the most people remember these as the Faces release, but these are widescreen VHS. That was pretty rare back in the day. I mean, yeah, very very rare. But what's cool about it is I also have the receipt is still in here from Incredible Universe. I don't know if anybody had an Incredible Universe near them, but I bought this in July 20th, 96 is when I bought this for $60. So yeah, the widescreen release of the original Star Wars trilogy on VHS, it's pretty cool. And this is one that I don't think this one will ever leave the collection. Now the thing is I own Star Wars on every format, right? And yeah, I have it on DVD as well. Now this was, I think, a special edition sort of Best Buy case, and it's in this tin case, right? And you open it up, and you've got the movies on DVD. So that VHS release that I showed you, that was the last official time that the original version of the Star Wars trilogy was released. In fact, all of the marketing at the time said that.
This will be your last chance to own the original version of Star Wars.
Well, what they did is on this release, this DVD release, they put basically the Laserdisc rip of the original version of the trilogy on these discs. Now, what kind of sucks about it is that they're non-anamorphic, which means even when you put this on a widescreen, if you put it in your Blu-ray player or DVD player, whatever, and you put it in there, it's going to have black bars on the top and bottom and the left and right. So that's kind of a bummer for these, but it is kind of a neat release, and it turns out that I don't have the receipt for when I bought this. But I saw this recently. This is what the release kind of looks like on the inside. But I remember recently I was at Half Price Books, and they had this exact version on DVD for $100. I know I didn't pay $100 for this. I'm pretty sure it was probably 50 or $60. But yeah, kind of cool to have in the collection. This is the Bruce Lee Legacy Collection from Shout Factory, and this has this says DVD, but I'm pretty sure there are Blu-rays in here too. Yeah, because it's got the Blu-ray and the DVD on the inside. Now, I do like this release, and I think it is kind of cool. And of course, when you get to the end, of course, you've got bonus features. You've got a book in here, which is kind of a neat thing. But over time, you can see it's bowed. It doesn't hold up well, and it doesn't really fit on a shelf. You kind of have to sit it upright or something to display it. And of course, what that means is that over time, it will warp, and that's kind of a bummer, but kind of a cool release. Now you may know this, you may not, but I am a big fan of martial arts films. So I have bought the Shawscope collections. I have Volume 1 and Volume 2, Volume 3 releases in I think a week, so like December 16th or something like that. But yeah, these are really cool releases because these come out and you get a really really nice book, you know, kind of going into detail. I mean, there's a lot on these movies, all kinds of stuff, and it's very very cool to see that. Yeah, there's some strange movies in here. Not all martial arts films, I will say, but I really like the Shawscope collection from Arrow, and of course the movies themselves. They come like this, which is really nice. And I didn't mention it on the Bruce Lee one, but you know you've got those. It's hard to get the DVDs and the Blu-rays out. This is a little easier, but still not great. I still wish it was better designed, this whole thing. But yeah, I mean, you've got all the things in here, all the discs, all the movies, and sometimes you've got two movies on one disc because sometimes they're pretty short. But yeah, Mighty Peking Man, what a strange odd movie. But yeah, it's these are really really cool releases. If you're into martial arts films and you don't mind, you know, taking a chance because some movies are a little out there, the Shawscope collections are awesome. Not to be outdone, Shout Factory has also released Shaw collections of movies, and I gotta say, from a design standpoint, from a shelf standpoint, I do like these better because they're easier to get the discs out because these are just standard, you know, Blu-ray Amrays. You know what I mean? So they're easier to get out, they're easier to access, of course. But here's the thing: these boxes, they it feels, I don't know, it feels cheap in a way. It's weird, but these are not cheap. These are, you know, I think over $100 when you get these. I have the first 4 volumes of the Shaw Classics. A 5th one is being released soon. I'm not sure exactly when. There's also 2 other, the Brave Archer collection and the T. Lung David Chang collection. Those are both available on Shout's website themselves. They're not available anywhere else, and I got to say they're pretty expensive. They're pretty expensive, but you know, if you want them, that's where they are, and you know, wait for a sale from Shout themselves. That's what I did. But yeah, I enjoy these, especially from a design standpoint. I do like the artwork that they put on here. All of them have their own artwork. It's pretty cool. We'll get into some releases that have a bunch of extra stuff as far as books and posters and art cards and all that kind of stuff. I'm one of those kind of people that I'm kind of in it for the movies, you know? And one of the greatest examples of just a bare bones, here's the movies kind of set is the James Bond collection on Blu-ray. And now you can see this was beat up by the time it got here. This is actually, I haven't had this very long, and it looks like it's been through the ringer. But here's the thing, it doesn't really matter, at least not to me, because this is what's important. The movies are in these Blu-ray cases where it's got the movies on the side, 1962 to 1977, and they're your movies, you know, from Russia with Love, Dr. No, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a bare bones kind of thing, but this is, when it comes down to it, how many times are you going to be looking at those art cards? How many times are you going to read that book? This is what's important. And I really appreciate the simplicity of this box set. So yeah, I like it. Now we'll get into some TV series, and with TV series, there's a couple of different ways to do that. We're going to go over that. But yeah, here's Band of Brothers. It's a limited series, 10 episodes, and it's in this 10 thing. And this is kind of, in my opinion, this is where the studios got the idea, hey, people like these like metal, these steel books. And I got to say, I'm not the biggest fan of steel books, but the way that this one works is you pull it out, and there's disc 1, and then disc 2, and then disc 3, and disc 4, and it just keeps on going. And you can't get it out. You can't get it out all the way. So you have to do this bit, you know? And I'm not a huge fan of this sort of thing, you know? Now it's nice that the discs stay, you know, pretty well intact, but I'm not a huge fan of this style, especially when it's, I mean, this is cool. You know, the artwork is very, very cool, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like there's a better way. I don't know. Just me? I don't know. I like it. It's a cool release, but yeah, not my favorite design. Now, I showed this off on stream recently. I just got this. This was the Star Trek, the original series on Steelbook, which is really cool, except for, well, when you pull out the Steelbook, not only is there a really nice dent, thanks Amazon, from the disc there, the discs are stacked. So there's 7 discs here, and they're stacked. And I'm not a huge fan of stacking because guess what? If you're going through the series, you've got to either lay out all your discs or take them out, put them back in. I don't like that, and I don't like the fact that these plastic bits only last so long. There's only so many times that you can snap a disc in there, so it's kind of one of those things where I'm not a huge fan of this style. But I gotta say, these steelbooks are really pretty. And another thing, which is kind of a bummer about this, is that on the back, you get this, you've seen this, right? Where they've got the little piece of paper kind of glued on here. It's that, that rolly up glue that, it's in, the mail. But anyway, yeah, you get all the special features and stuff on the back, but how are you supposed to tell what episode is on what disc? It's on the other side. It's on the other side of that. So you have to, I'm guessing you're supposed to take this off and take out the glue off and then maybe slip this inside. It's a really, look at that. It's barely there. There's no card. This isn't card stock. This isn't going to last a long time. It's going to get all bent up and kind of gross. It's kind of a bummer. And I wish there was at least a little booklet or something that kind of went over all the special features and what episodes are on each disc. I mean, that would be helpful. And then you've got the standard way that they release seasons on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever, and that is in a box like this. Which again, kind of like that James Bond set. This is a better way to do it because it's easy to get them in and out. They stay in there. I like this design better. Now, I mean, again, we're not talking about the quality of the series. Some people don't like Lost. They think it's terrible. I love this series, but hey. I'm just talking about design-wise right now. Now we'll get into steelbooks a little bit. I just want to go over a couple that I'm really excited about. It's in fact, one got released last year, one was released this year. Probably one of my crown jewels as far as steelbooks goes. It's the Crow steelbook, and I think this is a beautiful design. I love that the design, it's just a well thought out thing. I like it a lot. It's beautiful. This is a great release. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful release. Now, of course, this is only a single disc, and it's got the crow on the inside there. But yeah, I think that this is kind of the best that you can get as far as like steelbook goes. Now, again, I don't think steelbooks matter. I don't think they protect the discs anymore. And in fact, the steelbook is easier to scratch. It's easier to mess up. So I'd kind of just like a regular Amray for the most part, but still really cool. And the other one that I'm really excited about, I still haven't watched the 4K on this. I've heard that it's stellar. But Lawrence of Arabia, the Lawrence of Arabia steelbook, beautiful release here. And this is a strange one because I didn't realize that you get the Blu-ray, so the special features, the movie, and then the 4K is actually split over 2 discs. I didn't realize that until basically just now, but I kind of like it. I think it's going to be great, and I think the quality is going to be insane since they've decided to split the movie. I mean, it's a long movie, but this is a classic. If you haven't seen Lawrence of Arabia, please watch it. I love it. I love this movie. My wife hates it, but I love it. I think it's great, and every time I put it in, I think just to check, and I got sucked in. I'm like, I don't have time for this. But yeah, good one and a good release. I think this is still available because they did a reprint on the steelbook. So yeah, very, very nice. Now I want to talk about the boutique Blu-ray and 4K labels out there. I mean, you've got Kino, Lorber, you've got Arrow, you've got Criterion, you've got Second Sight, you've got Vinegar Syndrome. There's a ton of them. There's more that I mean, Radiance and Eureka and Umbrella, and there's so many different ones, and they're putting out amazing stuff. But I want to highlight just a few of the releases and kind of what you can expect. from a limited edition, because in a lot of cases like Arrow, what they'll do is that they'll release, their limited edition with the box set and the book and all the extra stuff, and then they'll release sort of a bare bones release later on after that initial release sells out. But I wanted to show you, this is RoboCop in 4K. It's got a ton of stuff, but it's about, man, it's really about this box. I love the quality of it. And of course, on the inside, you get a book, you get the movie itself, you get a poster. Like in this case, you do get the poster with the original art on one side and the new art like that on the other side. And then of course on the inside, you do get, like here you get stickers, you get art cards or lobby cards, as you might say. You got the director's cut, you've got the theatrical cut. A ton of special features on these, and that's one of the things that I love about the boutique Blu-ray labels out there, is that they really seek out a lot of the the older interviews and stuff, and then they try to do new interviews with other with the cast and crew, which I think is great. It's one of those things that if you love movies, you love the movie itself, man. It's hard to go wrong with that. Oh, and that's the other thing, is in a lot of cases you can switch it around. You can have whichever. I like the theatrical on the inside because we've got the new artwork on the outside. So yeah, it's really cool that you can do that, and it's one of the great things about the boutique labels. Now, I believe this is the only Vinegar Syndrome release that I actually own, but man, it's really cool. Cloak and Dagger. I mean, this is one of those movies that's kind of forgotten now. It's a PG movie in 1984, but here's the thing. This kid, which is Henry Thomas from E.T., he's put in a lot of danger in this movie, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to see, but what's cool about it is that this box has a magnetic flap, and it opens up, and it's got, kind of a, the whole story in the movie is that, there's secret plans that are on an Atari game, like they call them tapes, which I think is kind of funny because there's no tape in it. But anyway, yeah, it kind of looks like the Atari release from back then. But you've got the little ribbon, you pull this out, game over on the inside. And that's what the game looked like, by the way, Cloak and Dagger, the Atari game. But you've got a nice booklet with stuff in it, artwork and some text, some stuff. But here you've got the movie itself. And I think it's cool. You get it. I guess you got 4K and the Blu-ray. Yeah, you've got both. I didn't realize that. And then yeah, you can switch around that if you want as well. But yeah, I think it's just cool. It's just a cool release, and if you're a fan of the movie, I think that's really neat. I'll also mention that when it comes to these boutique labels, those limited editions, when they sell out, man, to get them now, man, they're expensive. They get crazy on eBay. But I do want to. Here's another one. It's a recent release. It just came out. And, yeah, it's the Blair Witch Project from Second Sight. Now, I think Second Sight is probably, I got to say it, they're probably my favorite. Because I think the work that they do, here, let me take this off. It's just black on the side. But yeah, the work that they do is insane. And what's great about this release, really quickly, I'll explain this. So when this movie was shot, it was shot in 8mm and 16mm, okay? So when they said, okay, we're going to put this in the theaters, they transferred that to 35mm, which there was a degradation of quality just doing that. There's a lot of, jitter and all kinds of things that it was problematic. It didn't look exactly the way that the directors had intended the movie to look. But it got out there and all that stuff. People watched it. It went nuts. It was a phenomenon, all that kind of thing. Well, when it came to a home release, instead of going back to the original 8mm and 16mm footage, the company at the time, I believe it was Artisan Entertainment, what they did is that they just did basically a version based on the 35mm film negative. And what happens is there's basically two losses of quality at that point. So what Second Sight did is that they went back to the 8mm and 16mm and basically put the movie back together using the original footage, and the quality is unbelievable. And they have the original version on here too. So it's a really, really neat release. Now, just to let you know, this is a Region B Blu-ray release, which means it's only available in the UK. You can get it in the US and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't have a Region B or a Region Free player, you will not be able to watch this. Unless you have a Panasonic UB, what was it, 850? One of the Panasonic players. The Panasonic players will play this. So anyway, but what's cool about this is that, again, just a solid, it feels quality. You know, when you hold this in your hand, Second Sight movies feel quality. And of course, there's Drive down there, which is also a really great set on from Second Sight. But in here, you get art cards, you get basically a reconstruction, I don't know, an example of Heather's notebook from the movie, which is kind of neat. This is in like the first scene of the movie. And then of course you get this nice, really nice hardback book. I mean, this is a solid book that you could probably, they probably could have sold on their own. But it's gorgeous. It's perfectly done. There's so much stuff in here. I haven't gone through this yet, but I'm really, really looking forward to it. Of course, the artwork and everything is great. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. And then, of course, you get the movies. And, of course, yes, you get disc 1 with the movie, disc 2 with special features. It's just a great release. I highly, highly recommend it if you have the means. Now, Criterion has many different sets, right? They have just the movies, they have sets, they have all kinds of things. I do want to mention one release, a recent release. I say recent, it's probably a year old now. But Trainspotting. Now, I've shown you some of those, the way that the discs go in and out. Here's the thing. This is not a standard Amray. So here's a standard Amray, right? It doesn't fit on the shelf really well. And it sticks out. It sticks out from the, I hate that they did this. But they have something in here that's really, really smart. So you get the little envelope thing. I don't know, like I said, I don't understand why go this route, but finger holes. Finger holes. Hashtag finger holes. Why don't all physical media releases that you're going to have a slip, why don't they have finger holes? Because that is brilliant. It's still like a little envelope. It's cheaper to produce, but you give this little nice, the finger holes. And yeah, that should be in every release where it's like that, where you have to get the disc out of like a slip or an envelope or whatever. That's the way it should be, like from here on out. But while we're talking about packaging that I don't like, here's some of the worst packaging I've ever seen, like ever, okay? First up, this stupid thing. Yeah, this is the Harry Potter Blu-ray set, okay? Now, before anybody wants to get down there and comment, yes, I know that you can buy them individually and all that, but I wanted a set, right? And this was back, while the movies were still being released. This is one of the most useless sets. It annoys me. So you open it up. There's a plastic thing to keep things in line and all that kind of stuff. Here's the thing. Here's how the discs are in there. Now, it's cool. It's kind of a neat idea because it looks like a stack of books. But how... It just sucks to get in and out of these. You know what I mean? It just kind of does. It just kind of does. So, yeah, there's year 1, right? And you open it up. Oh, there's the... And here's the thing. It's really well put together, but I just hate it. It's one of my least favorite sets in my entire collection because it's big and bulky, doesn't fit anywhere, and to get into the actual discs, it takes time. It takes a lot of time, and so yeah, for me, this is one of the worst. Now, of course, you get the little letter from Hogwarts, right? And there's like cards and stuff in here. There's a bookmark collection. Do we need to open this up and look at it? I guess we do, because I haven't looked at this in years. Okay, that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat, but I got to say, if you're using metal on your books, you're ruining your books. You're bending the pages. You're so don't do that. Don't do that. But that's kind of neat. I mean, it's kind of cool. But it's just one of those things where it's just like you look at all this and you go, "Oh, why did I buy this?" And this is a situation where I'm like, I shouldn't have bought this. I should have just bought a DVD, Blu-ray set or whatever at the time that, would fit on a freaking shelf. I think that's the most important thing. Oh, and I didn't mention that yeah, there's only the first 5 movies in here. So we talked about a feeling of quality, with Second Sight, just this wonderful box set that feels like it would last a long time. Here is the absolute worst physical media release I've ever purchased. And as far as when it comes to not the content, because the content's good. The content's really good. But man, the presentation, a lot left to be desired. This is a Fox, 20th Century Fox, which no longer exists anymore. But I got to say it, this is the worst physical media release that I have. This is the Wolverine on 3D. It's just a box that barely stays on. The ends, look at the ends, got all torn and stuff, like in transit, right? You open it up and it's this, and you get this much stuff in a box this big. This is empty. There's nothing in it. Now, you do get art cards. Kind of cool. It's kind of neat. But then this is the important stuff. You get the movie on 3D, you get the movie on Blu-ray, you get the extended cut on Blu-ray, and then you get a DVD/digital copy. This is actually really cool. And look at how thin it is. And it fits on the shelf. So this box is going, it's going somewhere. This is what's going on the shelf from here on out. I do want to give an honorable mention as far as like details that I think are cool and that should be in more media releases. This is the Avatar collector's edition. This is like, I want to say it's like $50 on Amazon. So yeah, $50 for one movie. You really have to like the movie. I do like the movie. Did I need this? Probably not. But here's the thing. Here's what's cool. Very, very nice, sturdy box. Slipcase, I really, really like it. It feels quality. And then when you open this up, you get your standard, you open it up kind of thing. But here's the cool thing. It's magnetic. This is a really cool little design like detail. I really, really like that. This is a cool release, I mean, you've got all the stuff in it, but where's the finger holes? Oh, well that would interrupt the artistic. I don't care. Finger holes. Give me the hashtag finger holes. That's all I'm saying. Give me finger holes. I have to give kind of an honorable mention as far as quality of the sets themselves. This is, I guess 20th Century Fox released this because the James Bond movies are a 20th Century Fox thing. But yeah, this is the old DVD collection, like this, right? And you've got basically this is before the Daniel Craig's, right? So it's the first 20 Bond movies. And they split the Bond movies over 4 releases, with 5 movies on each release. But the problem is, it's not in order. And why did they do that? Because they basically handpicked some of the most popular Bond movies and split them over the 4 sets. As far as a consumer-friendly thing, it's maybe not the best way to do it. But man, what I love about these releases is the quality, right? You open this up, and that just looks classy. And each movie has its own little mini Amray. I love this. So what that means is, if you wanted to, you could take all of these out, put them in release order, and put them on your shelf. I think that's a really, really nice touch. So, this doesn't, how many movie sets out there have over 20 movies? Well, this is one of them. But I just think that this is a really, really cool box set. And I think it's a cool idea. This is a crazy long video, but we've got two things left to do. Two things. Number one, my most expensive set. The most money I've ever spent on a single physical media release is right here. You ready? It's not even that big of a deal, but it is the Skywalker Saga in 4K. This has lots of discs. I don't know how many, but it's got all 9 movies in the Skywalker Saga. I know some people say that the last 3 don't exist, but hey, they're here. And yeah, you get the 4Ks and the Blu-rays, and it comes in this guy, right? Now, when you get that out using the handy dandy little ribbon, you do get this little letter from Mark Hamill. Hey, thanks for, they paid me money so to put my name on this thing. Anyway, so yeah, you get the movies like this. Anybody guess what this is missing? Finger holes. Give me the finger holes, because yeah, these are in little envelope type guys, right? So I wish they were finger holes, but it's still a really, really nice set, right? And I just think it's gorgeously done. It really is. I think it's beautifully done. But it's just, it was an expensive set back then. And now I think this is going for like $350, this set. There's a lot of special features. There's a lot of great stuff. Yeah, it's really good. But there's also those problematic movies to talk about. But that's another video. Now, my favorite set. I mean, look, there's a lot of great stuff here. There's a lot of great stuff. But I think my favorite set is a Criterion release. And that is of Zatoichi. And it's basically the styling of this box. The attention to detail is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Look, it even goes on the bottom. This is a wonderful set. Now, this was the original release, and this has the Blu-rays and the DVDs. So let's take a look. Inside, you do get this book. But on the inside, and again, the artwork, it flows. So Zatoichi, the Blind Swordsman. So there's your Blu-ray right here, and you can just keep going. There are your Blu-rays. But on the inside, there's the DVDs. It's a beautifully done set. I mean, I'll probably never watch the DVDs. And now when you buy this set, it's Blu-ray only. There are no DVDs inside. But it's a sumptuous set. I don't use that word very much. There's a little design flaw. The disc is falling out the bottom. But maybe I'll get a little bit of glue to glue that one down. But yeah, it's a beautiful set. It really is. Other than that little bitty design flaw, gorgeous. I love it. And I think it will go down as my favorite box set. And it wasn't really that expensive. If you wait for a Criterion sale, the 50% off sale, you can pick up this set now with the Blu-rays only for about $100. And that's not bad for 25 movies. Yeah, 25 movies. Now, you might say, well, Rob, they made how many movies? They made, I think it's 11 years. They made 25 movies. How good can those movies actually be? Some of them are really good. But yeah, this is really nice. Goes over each one of the movies, what it's about, and all that kind of stuff. But then here's some really, really cool stuff. The special features on this are fantastic. So this is a highly, highly, highly recommended release for me. Of course, not everybody's going to be into watching 25 movies about a blind swordsman in Japan. But it is a beautiful set, and it goes down as my favorite. So if you made it this far into the video, I commend you, because wow, that's a lot of Rob talking. But look, I love physical media, and I wanted to celebrate it. And thank you again to Raith for the idea. I think it's a really cool idea for a video, and I would love to hear some of your favorite releases over the years. I mean, somebody might say the Dawn of the Dead Second Sight release. Somebody might say the Battle Royale Arrow set, which I also have. But yeah, I would love to hear your favorite sets. And, of course, I would be remiss not to mention that some of the best sites out there are not Amazon for getting some of these physical media releases. Diabolic DVD, Orbit DVD. Those are my two basically standbys in the United States. In other countries, hey, if you're out there and you're watching, put some of those links down in the comment section. Let's help each other out. Let's help each other keep buying and supporting physical media, because I love it. I love movies, and yeah, I think I've said enough. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. This is a long video. Yeah, I said long video.